Hey, it's a new world, gotta adapt to it. Innovation, information, more than the average. Rushing, please ignore the interruptions. Cause this is digital discussions.
The fun part of our show, At Home with Our Homies. You
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
Here's the questions. If you could instantly be an expert at any subject, what would it be?
Parenting.
Parenting. I'll take that as well if you figure that one out. Help me. How do you overcome hardship?
Mental fortitude, right? I think it's all about expectations. And if you think your life's going to be just kind of fluff and easy the entire time, when it doesn't go that way, it's difficult to deal with. So I just feel like I'm constantly prepared and accepting of whatever comes my way.
And coming from somebody who literally broke their femur and was on stage giving a speech like a few weeks later, I mean, honestly, Ann, your strength is inspiring, to say the least.
Thanks.
What's the best meal that you can cook?
Well, as a fitness person, I think oatmeal is probably the one that everybody. But I used to be great with chicken and eggs, but I've been vegan for 6 months, full vegan. So having to reteach myself how to come up with good protein sources as a vegan, I've really become really creative with what I can do. And so many people are fascinated. And one day I'm going to have a whole chat about veganism and how to eat plant-based, especially for people who work out, because
Sure,
it's tough. The macros are hard to get to because everything with protein has a lot of carbs and fat in the plant world. So it's a fine line, and I've really worked hard on that. But oatmeal for sure, and the way I create it in the morning, oats is always different. You can never get the same texture.
yeah.
But my morning it's a solid breakfast.
What is your current go-to favorite song on your workout playlist?
Oh, that it tastes like cola, sweet. Lou Bega's like Coca-Cola.
Lou
Song.
Bega.
You guys heard it? I'm a hard
How have I not heard this?
How have you not heard it? It's just if I'm in a shitty mood, I just put that song on and it just makes me move. It's like the best.
I'm Googling it when we're done.
Like it's a positive song. And then I love like Leon Bridges. Anything Leon Bridges is just my jive. Like just that middle of the day, like feel good energy. Oh, so good.
Good stuff. What would you say is your life's biggest achievement?
Oh gosh, well, I hate to sound sappy, but honestly, my life's biggest achievement is, probably becoming a mom, finding like the partner of my dreams. I don't know how I ended up getting blessed to have him in my life, but 18 years later, I mean, like I am more in love with him today than I was the day that I met him, and just he's like the cornerstone of my life. So I can't say that, if anything else went away, and if anything, I've gotten a lot of perspective in this time is what really matters in life. And it's not about anything being on a stage, publishing a book. It's gone to the wayside now. I realize what's really important, and I'm never going to take anything for granted again, which I'm grateful for this experience, as hard as it's been for all of us.
I think that's one of the positive things that we can all get from this and really go back to being centered and spending quality time with our loved ones. And I love that answer, but your books are pretty awesome, and that's not easy to do. And I'm setting out on that journey. So again, an inspiration in that department. What's the last thing you Googled?
The last thing I Googled, man, I wish I could pull up my phone. So actually, here's a good hack for everybody for social media, specifically for Instagram stories. I know I Googled it today, so it's a good example. Anytime I want to make like a really cool looking Instagram story, but it's something just kind of like on the fly, things I'm thinking about, this is what I do with Google. I Google iPhone wallpaper and then the phrase that I'm trying to find something around. So iPhone wallpaper faith, iPhone wallpaper hard work, iPhone wallpaper drive. I go to images, click HD, ranks them by resolution, and I just look down and find one. I'm like, oh, it looks pretty cool. Post it up there. People think it's mine. They think it's great.
Love that.
And so that's a huge hack because everyone wants more professional Instagram stories than just going to the create and typing it in there. So I do that on a daily basis.
All right, cool. What was your first job?
My first job, my actual first job, was sitting in an insurance agency and pretending to be a secretary. But instead, I read poetry, wrote in my journal, and slept on top of the desk. And my mom was really concerned that I wasn't going to be a good worker. I was a late bloomer when it came to work. I didn't really want to work, but once I started, I loved it. Like, I was a shoe salesperson at Aldo Shoes.
Oh, really?
Shoes at Aldo.
Yep.
Shout out to Aldo.
By the way, I feel the same. Like, when would you say that transition happened? How old were you when you went from like just getting by and collecting your check to like, oh shit, let me turn this thing on here?
You know, what's amazing is once my parents really enabled me to be a really good worker. I'm blue collar to the core. Okay, I grew up in Detroit. Everyone works in Detroit. I didn't even understand people that didn't work until I moved to New York City, right? Everyone grinds, everyone works. But I wasn't like the 12-year, I wasn't like the Mark Cuban story of like, I was 12 and I was delivering newspapers. Like, I wasn't like that. I was very fanciful, I was very creative, but I didn't, in terms of the work grind, that really kicked off for me. I have to say, you know, once my parents were like, you know, you're on your own. That's it. You're paying for your apartment. You are funding your life. I was like, oh, I just flipped a switch. Whoa. So I was always a very hard creative. I always danced really hard. I sang. I was always busy. But in terms of actually making money and becoming a grinder in that way, I was a little more of a late bloomer. But once I dug in, it was game over. Once I realized that I was in charge of my own destiny, and my parents, I give them a lot of credit for enabling that in me. Once I was in charge of my destiny and they set me out to sail, there was no failure to launch. Like, I just was like, we're done.
Yeah, no, same thing happened to me. That's why I was interested in learning more about it, because I, you know, through high school and even college, I couldn't give a shit, honestly. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, I realized that, you know, if I wanted anything, and kudos to, well, it was a different circumstance because I lost my mother and it kind of happened as a result of that.
Wow.
But yeah, it was like a light switch for me. And all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, you know, what do I do now, right? And that's why I'm in the office right now, as opposed to at home still in bed.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Can you play any instruments? I think we know the answer to that one.
The thimbles. I'm really good with the thimbles.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, I've been
cowbell?
Orchestra.
No cowbell?
Concert thimble operator. So yeah.
Excellent. Very good.
No.
All right. Do you have a favorite inspirational quote or saying?
Yes. Actually, I based our values at Squeeze off of Maya Angelou's "People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you make them feel." I really do. I personally love people. I believe so much in our individual capability of making a true difference in people's lives through the way that we treat them. And so in any case, I love that quote because I think it really does get down to the heart of the power in all of us and the opportunity that we have to, you know, make the world a better place.
Oh, I agree. I love that so much. Do you collect anything? I see stuff behind you. Do you collect anything?
I collect a lot of things, not anymore, but I used to collect bottles.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I have any. So this is an old wine. I mean, not wine, sorry. Fragrance bottle. So
cool.
Perfume. And yeah, I have like a lot of bottles. And then what else do I collect?
Any WWE dolls?
I do. I got a.
I knew that. I knew you had to. Is it the Hulk?
This is Hulk Hogan, still in the case.
Look
I don't
at
have that
that
many. I used to have more, but my mom got rid of them when I went to college.
See, it's another reason why.
Yeah, you know who this guy is?
Who is
$1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
the $1 Million Man?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I also
great.
collect these cast iron banks.
Very cool.
You know, this one.
That was a great question for you. I'm glad that
Yeah,
we were able to ask it.
I got a lot of crap over here, but yeah.
What is your favorite dish to make?
Soft scrambled eggs with my son in the morning with American cheese and grass-fed butter, you know, to balance off the processed cheese, you know. And we get eggs from down the street, and in a few months we'll have our own eggs.
Nice.
From, believe it or not, we have our little temporary coop here.
All right,
So what do I have to do with the kitchen? Turn the phone around?
Let's go. Yeah, turn the phone around or hold it out. Hold it out so we can see you.
Okay, so
there we go.
So we stockpiled.
Oh, you got
stuff.
Quest cookies? My favorite.
We got some stock. Little Gatorade, little G0, little almond milk. Okay, we're trying to stay lean, but I have to admit, my daughter did make some chocolate banana muffins with white and dark chocolate.
Buddy, if you're running 8 to 10 miles in the morning, you could afford a little muffin action.
That's all we get that every now and again. Got to sneak that in. All right.
And now let me ask you a question: is the stuff that's out there on the table a result of stocking up right now? Like,
yeah, I try to get my hands on some things
in bulk.
Because initially nobody knew. Right?
What you got in the kitchen, B? What's keeping you healthy and energized?
So we're in the crib right now. There's so we got a lot of fruit going on. Crushing a lot of fruit.
And there was a time when you were cutting out fruit, bro.
Yeah, I did a whole year without eating fruit.
You're a nut.
That was just a dumb challenge, but I did that. Let's see what I got. Oh, these are Super Coffee. I don't know if you guys know about this brand.
Talk to me.
Super Coffee and their creamers are out of control. So no sugars, no carbs, good fats, MCT oil, and protein. You guys can see it on there.
Amazing. And keto.
I made that.
There's that. I've got, okay, so this is the best creamer, and you can only get it at Target now. So when I go, I stock up.
By the way, everybody who's on this show has a ton of almond milk and is like promoting creamer. This is like a common thing. Is that almond milk?
And vegetables and lots of cheese, and it's not really very exciting. It was much more full. There's 3 kids in this house, so it's like
you're going through food
every day.
But
now I'm going to show you where the good stuff is.
Yes.
My pantry looks like Costco. Okay. And then actually it's pretty thinned out right now, but you notice the important aisle. Can you see the
Absolutely.
This is the important aisle. All the protein shakes up there.
Wow.
But
wait, what's in those containers? Is that also protein shake stuff, or is it just the protein?
This all, and then this is all the other see, you've got all the yeah.
I love it.
I figure if we're in a shortage of food, the kids can eat all the actual food, and we'll just survive on protein drinks.
That's what I do. Let's do it.
Love
a tour of the pantry and the refrigerator before we're done. You ready?
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead.
Let's run in. Now, Jay, you got to understand, I'm a single dude, right? So
yeah, dude.
That's
what's going to make this so exciting.
And I just want you to know that. Let me flip this thing around real quick.
By the way, there's more people than me watching this, so
All right, so here's what you need to know, right? So I'm all about the liquids. So I got the liquids, right?
I mean, there have been a lot of firsts on At Home with Our Homies, and this is a first. Continue.
So what I got here is, I don't come in here all that much, but when things are really hot, I like to cool them down. So I put them in here. So we got Beth Azor's book, because that's definitely hot. And then we got Chelsea's book, because that's really, really hot. And then I got some new Cole Haans, and I know that you're into Nikes, but Cole Haan and Nike are one and the same.
Wow,
so I got those.
yes.
I thought you might think that those were hot, so I wanted to cool them down before we jumped on this live.
Buddy, this is what's most amazing about this is you didn't even know that we were going to ask for a tour of the refrigerator. So, I mean, wow, this is what you actually keep in your refrigerator.
Oh, absolutely.
That is amazing, and we need to talk about this offline, because that's a very clean refrigerator for somebody that keeps nothing other than shoes and books in it.
I may not have cleaned the fridge just a little bit, and I do appreciate this whole setup, because that refrigerator did need a good clean.
Yeah, and you keep it old school. Yo, show us the closet, man. I'm excited.
Okay.
What do we have?
I think I have to turn this around, right?
Let's see what we're working with.
Okay, so I built this. It's really messy. So I built this sneaker room. I built this house, and
by the way, that's not really a closet. So I take it back. This is more like a retail store.
So basically I wanted to, so if you come back from here, I wanted to do the red for Jordan. Obviously we were going to paint the floor red, but we opted not to. And then, it's not organized. I usually have all the ones together, 5s, 3s, but we didn't, it's been a bit messy right now.
Show me what is one of your most prized possessions in there?
Shit, that's a good question. Well, for
It could
me,
be more than one.
For me, one of my favorites doesn't have to do with like how expensive it is. It's just who I always wanted. I would say, okay, so I really, really love the cool gray 11s. Like those are super dope for me.
Cause this is digital discussions.